After 75 years, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park has earned several titles, including International Biosphere Reserve and the most visited national park in the U.S., and home to more than 10,000 documented species. And for those of us here in East Tennessee, it's all right here in our backyard. But beneath the layers of hemlock trees, the popular campgrounds, and the wildlife, there is a rich history and some mixed emotions about how the park came to be.
The farmers didn't want to sell their homesteads for the most part, and the timber companies didn't want to sell either.
You see, unlike most national parks, this 800 square mile tract of land was not federal property at the turn of the century. Instead, it was filled with profitable logging companies and self-sustaining communities. Cades Cove had as many as 800 people living here when the government began its efforts to build the Smokies as we know it today.
Joining the national park system took a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of sacrifice by the people who did live here.
It took legal action to seize nearly 1/3 of the property in the park, but to help honor and remember those who lost so much, 78 structures here have been preserved, the majority in Cades Cove. Also, on this 75th anniversary, rangers are urging you to truly understand the history here.
The main thing we want to get across to visitors is the stories that were here.
But for some families, the appreciation may be too little too late.
She resented the fact that they took her home place and her livelihood. She did resent that till the day she died.
Gordon Wright is a descendant of Cades Cove. Both his mother and father lived in different parts of this farming community. They were married here back in the 1920s, but were forced to leave when the park took their property.
Where my mother was reared was at the very end of Height Lane, and my father was reared all the way across the cove on the other side near the entrance to Height Lane.
This area meant so much to his parents. Wright produced this video filled with old photos and reenactments. And while Gordon was not born inside the park, he remembers his family's weekly visits back to the very place where his parents' courtship started.
I was just a kid, but every Sunday my mother and dad went back to Cades Cove to refresh their old memories of Cades Cove. And of course, then I didn't know it, but when they drove by Height Lane, they would look over and grin real big at each other.
This year, as the park celebrates 75 years, Wright admits for him and many others, it is a bittersweet milestone.
Yeah, it was a good thing, but there's still some people out there, descendants of people, that they had to pay the ultimate price.